I'd like to welcome you to Friday, and you know what an honor it is to just do this 3 times a week. I just want to thank you for letting me invade your world for a little bit. From the Gospel of Mark, the 5th chapter, talking about the light. Jesus says, "You are the light for the whole world. A city built on a hill cannot be hid, and no one lights a lamp and puts it under a bowl. Instead, it is put on a lampstand, where it gives light for everyone in the house." Yes, we are called to be the light. And boy, the world needs lots of light. You know, religion can be fun sometimes. I had a nice little light moment about religion the other day. A lot of people ask me, Don, is the church getting back to being the same? And I said, no way. Will it ever be the same again? I doubt it. You know, the days when we had to add extra chairs and there were 25 kids up here for the kids' sermon, I think those days might be over, because I don't know what'll be the same again. But you know, it doesn't have to be the same, because in a way our church can be deeper, a little richer. And I realize that this live stream, these screens, that's the lifeline and the light to a lot of people. I think of my buddy Bill Colgan. I know he's watching this right now. And Bill is he's getting up there in his 80s, and he's had some physical challenges lately, and he's been in the hospital, and he got a visit from the chaplain. And the chaplain comes in to visit him in the hospital in Hawaii, and he asked Bill, "What religion are you?" And Bill says, "Well, I'm Lutheran." And he says, "Well, Bill, what is your church like?" And he says, "Well, sit down and I'll show you." So the chaplain sits next to Bill in his bed, and he clicks on a thought for the day, and he clicks on a worship service, and he said, "That's my church out there in Orland Park, Illinois." And the chaplain said, "Wow, that's nice." And later that day, the chaplain calls me, and he introduces himself, and he says, "Well, I'm the chaplain at the hospital, and I just watched you on TV." And I said, "Well, what an honor." And we talked. It's almost like we have known each other forever. And I said, "Well, what religion are you?" And he said, "Well, I'm Baptist, but I'm thinking about being Lutheran." We just enjoyed the conversation, and it made me realize that that's what religion should be. It's a sharing of each other's soul and spirit. It's that lifeline that connects us to someone like Bill in Hawaii. That religion is whatever brings light into your life and gives you hope. And I know our church is different, maybe just a little smaller, maybe not what it was, but we are the church. You are the church. And whenever you can be a light to somebody else, whether it's in here or wherever you go to work, or someone lying in bed in Hawaii and a chaplain, when that light comes alive, that's where Jesus lives. I've been thinking a lot about what's happening in Florida and now up the East Coast. A few times, Peggy and I and Q would go to Fort Myers, Florida, stay in this place, and Peg and I would walk up and down a couple of the streets in Fort Myers Beach. We'd stop and have coffee here and maybe lunch here and look at some of the crafts places. And every time I walk in the door of any place, whether it's in Fort Myers Beach or here, I think that this place, this coffee shop, this gift store, this whatever it is, this is somebody's livelihood. You know, it's their life. It's how they take care of their family, and they bring joy to people like us. And then in Fort Myers Beach, I saw a picture of that street that we've walked so many times, and it's just almost leveled. All those places where people work to feed their families, where people have invested to make a difference, they're so damaged, and you just wonder if they will be able to come back. But there's that light, the light of hope. And you think about, what can we do? We're just a church, a small church, and we have a love bucket. And you might think that, well, if we raise a few $100s or a couple $1,000s, what difference can that possibly make when a whole town has to be rebuilt? But you know, whenever something happens like that, we got to do something. And that something may not change the world. It may not make a big dent. But for the sake of our soul and our spirit, you got to do something to let people know that we care. To let the people know they're not alone. To let the Red Cross know that we support their efforts. And so I just think of what's enough. Well, I don't know, enough is enough, but we'll do something. The love bucket will be there. We'll continue to hope, and we'll continue to pray. And hopefully each one of us in our own way can be a light. Whether it's a light to someone like Bill Colgan in Hawaii, whether it's a light to somebody who has lost so much in Florida, whether it's a light to somebody who comes here to church and just needs a place to be safe, a place to be reminded that they're God's child, that every day, if we can be the light to at least one other person, that's how Jesus comes alive. It's good to be with you. Each one of you is a light unto our church. We're a light unto each other, and that's where Jesus lives. God bless you. Thanks for listening, and I will see you at 8:30 and 11 o'clock on Sunday.